$5,000. Cash payment to anyone who can prove that what lying son of a devil Farrakhan is preaching is consistent with the lessons, supreme wisdom, of Master Fard Muhammad Elijah Muhammad's representation of his teacher Master Fard's teachings.
Assalamu alaikum, sisters and brothers. To my Rahim here, Messenger Covenant, Breaker Seven Seals. If any of you was tuning in on the first start, I had to delete it because they went in and changed all my settings, all of them, and it wouldn't have worked. And I know they did it because they had set up and those settings, not my settings. On top of that, they're trying to give me a stroke bone since they're in all my systems and everything. Phone, laptops, flat TVs, suddenly missing, all kinds of things. Right? Trying to give me a stroke. And the thing is that it's not going to work, but they're trying. And they're going to get more intense in a minute. Not just them, but Farrakhan's foolish followers. Right? They're violent. I'm surprised they haven't put me on AI yet, put me in some kind of porn movie or something. I know it's coming. It's not going to work, but I can't blame for trying. So I've been the last 2 hours, technical difficulties, bonuses, so I'm not going to be finished today. And I said I was going to have this series, so the way it's going is it's probably going to next week. So I'm only going to cover one topic today. A lot of topics. The thing is, brothers and sisters, that these people out there running their mouth, they have no idea what they're talking about. They can't lead you anywhere because they don't know what they blind themselves. So why are they doing it? Well, they're going to find out in a minute. They got all the internet. Farrakhan's, he can't even wipe his own ass right now. He's not out in public because he can't be out in public. He can't even sit in a wheelchair right now. They don't want to show that because, I mean, see, they're so stupid over there. And what you don't show tells a lot about what's really there. See, you always tell people, watch the backstory. So if they come and tell you, oh, well, this is his 70th wedding anniversary or something like that, right? And they show you pictures of 15 years old, you say, well, he said God told him not to stop talking. That's a lie. Yeah, if it did, probably Yahoo told him to stop because that's what he's working for. That's another story. They still going to show the picture of him currently, right? Biden said, "Won't take no pictures." Him and his wife currently celebrating or whatever they do. No, they said years ago. You don't get any voice, you don't get text, anything from him. So did God tell him just stop breathing? Because he's totally messed up. He can't lead anybody anywhere. And they run around scrambling to figure out what they're going to do. And they're nervous and they're panicking because they got division going on over there. They got resurrection. It's not a coup, but a rebellion is going over there right now. They're in the process of trying to shut it down. We're starting to ask questions. They don't have answers. You see? Because none of that shit really makes any sense. All you got to do is start doing some add subtraction, and it just comes up wrong every time. You can't find one verse. That's what it says right there. I've been saying for years. One verse, just find me one verse in the scriptures that verify that shit Farrakhan's talking about. Who claims he is. Show me one verse in the scripture. They can't. They can look all they want. They can't find anything because everything they come up with is bad shit. $5,000. Just, I mean, if you say Farrakhan's the man and he's doing all this stuff you say, why don't you come and collect the $5,000? Make me look like a fool. If I don't pay up, then show everybody how much it's a lying fraud, as much as Farrakhan is. Nobody answers because they can't. They said nobody challenged Farrakhan. That's an open challenge right there. They're not going to come in and try to debate me or anything because they'd be dead and they'd be dead before they even, they'd be walking dead. They'd be walking before they get to the debate. They'd be dead before they get to it. Because they have no answers. No matter how they come at it, biologically, physically, emotionally, no matter how they come at it, scripturally, Farrakhan comes up shit. Come on, it follows the devil. It's right on it. Just Google it. Get a picture of him. He admits it. We got more tape admitting it. So how you gonna square that? So, oh well, it doesn't matter because God made us all in the womb, right? Right? And then you say, well, okay, God made us all in the womb. What God are you talking about? Because if you say now you're saying Master Muhammad before it was the originator. Then they said Master Muhammad is God. So if God made the womb, then Master Muhammad made him in the womb, made me in the womb, and all of us in the womb. So he's very busy making babies in the womb, ain't he? So it don't make any damn sense. But if it ain't him, it's another God, then who is that? Because that's a mystery God that Muhammad said ain't no such thing. So no matter how you cut it, it comes up shit. It stinks. How you cut it, it stinks. Because biologically, he's a devil. He's a seed. He's not seed of Abraham. Let me move on, brother. I'm only going to cover one point today. So let me move on, for I won't be able to do that. It's sad.
Do you then believe in a part of the book and disbelieve in the other? What then is the reward of such among you as do this but disgrace in the life of this world, and on the day of resurrection they shall be sent back to the most grievous chastisement? And Allah is not heedless of what you do. 86 These are they who buy the life of this world for the hereafter, so their chastisement shall not be lightened, nor shall they be helped.
They openly do it all the time. They being part, disbelieve other. They never talk about the message of the covenant, which was right there by next to Elijah. It says he will come to Elijah's temple. But no, Elijah, the last one, ain't nobody out him. It says right there, so you read it. Message of the covenant. That's the one they're seeking. Why Elijah was still there, was seeking him. So that means they knew someone was coming behind him. Elijah Muhammad never said no one's coming behind him specifically, because I was there, 775. But it's right there, message of the covenant. And then if you say, okay, well, what's the covenant? Then you go look at the covenant. Remember, they don't mention message of the covenant. They don't mention them. They read that part, and then it says, being part of the book, they said, for them it's grievous chastisement. They fuel for the fire. It said, those bleeding part of the book, disbelieving the other. why you this and miss the next one? Why? Because then you read the message of the covenant. Then you say, what's the covenant? Then you go over to Abraham and see what the covenant is. And the covenant says, after 400 years, we return home. Whoa! But first, we ain't going nowhere. So we call God alive. That's why they see what's going on there. And the thing is, remember, that covenant doesn't apply to him. It applies to us, and it's against his people, because he's the seed of the devils. So therefore, he's going to defend them. He's going to try to do everything to defend them, because he defends himself. So he got nothing but love for them, and nothing but shitstorm for you. We're going to show that. Let's move on, brothers and sisters. You're going to see some, I don't know. Let me just go on, brothers and sisters.
Section 1, Fundamental Principles of Islam. In the name of Allah, the Beneficent, the Merciful. 1. I, Allah, am the best knower. 2. This book, there is no doubt in it, is a guide to those who keep their duty. 3. Who believe in the unseen and keep up prayer and spend out of what we have given them. 4. And who believe in that which has been revealed to thee and that which was revealed before thee, and of the hereafter they are sure.
That's the Quran, they say, is involatile. That's God speaks himself. He says he's the best knower. And he says you got to believe in the Bible and the Quran. You got to be both of them. They know, oh, well, okay. Well, then I guess he's a liar too, right? So you got to be in both of them. No qualifications. We understand bad translation, but no, the manuscripts are there. The manuscripts are there.
$174. Those who conceal aught of the book that Allah has revealed and take for it a small price, they eat nothing but fire into their bellies, and Allah will not speak to them on the day of resurrection, nor will he purify them, and for them is a painful chastisement. 175. Those are they who buy error for guidance and chastisement for forgiveness. How bold they are to challenge the fire. 176. That is because Allah has revealed the book with truth. And surely those who disagree about the book go far in opposition.
That is, brothers and sisters. They don't mention the covenant. It's right there. They don't mention the covenant. It's right there. And that's what pertains to us. But you got a different take. See, we don't deserve a covenant because we're sinful, we're wicked. But God says he's going to come and judge this nation that did this to us. No, but he's going to judge it, see? But, we ain't trying to understand, brothers. We're not trying to convince those people over there. If they got the head of Farrakhan's ass, we want to keep it there. You get to separate them from the saints. You don't separate something just to mix it back up again. You clean your house up, just throw dirt back in it. Okay, I'll move on, brothers and sisters, because like I said, I've got a late start, so I'm not going to be able to cover everything. But anyway, you can read at your leisure, leisure.
I gotta do this. Do you mind? Yes, I'm gonna do something. I don't want to put my brother on the spot. See, this is this. This is something else. Love and faith transcends color. And the reason why we embrace Father Flagler as a brother is because we find him on the battlefield of of justice, being a true disciple of Jesus. And the last thing I'll say is you'll never call us racist.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Because this day that we honor
Yes, sir.
Master Fard Muhammad, if you see an image of him, put his image up.
Yes, sir.
That's the man whose father was a black man and his mother a Caucasian. And how many of us have a parent that's a Caucasian or grandparent? It's not about color. It's about our submission to the will of God. And in that we find common ground and unity.
Yes, sir.
So I'm only one shade lighter than you, so. And Mustafa may be 4 more shades lighter. We a family.
Yes, sir.
Let's stay a family and be a family and love each other as God would have us to love each other. We love you, Father. Happy Savior's Day. Thank you. I had to do that. We love you.
One more time, brother.
That was some sick shit there, brothers and sisters. To me, honor Master Muhammad. Really? You read the lessons? He said they're 100% wicked, every one of them, 100%. 100% wicked, and they cannot be redeemed. He's going to rid the planet of them. That's what he say. But no. He said, honor Elijah. They're shitting on Elijah Muhammad and shitting on Master Muhammad. And they're going to pay a heavy price for it. I mean, a heavy price. Imaginable. Right? Unimaginable. We want brothers and sisters. So I'm great to the point because I can't cover but one thing. But I was like I said, I was going to spend 2 or 3 hours today. I spent 2 or 3 hours just getting this, get past all the roadblocks that put my way. But they stopped anything. 35 years with the angel. They threw me in jail and my trial and everything. Give me so-called manufactured car accidents. Try to poison. They try to poison. Well, they are trying to poison me right now. I'm not worried about it. It's not going to happen. But like I said, you can't blame for trying. Let me play this right quick, brothers and sisters, because the thing is, it says in scriptures, no one to help. Why is that? They couldn't find anyone to help. And the Levites supposed to be the priest tribe, so they're supposed to be the one that's carrying the weight. Elijah or Levi, they were that priest tribe. They were supposed to. See, that was one of the reasons why they was allowed to beat with us, the tribe of Shabazz. They were the priest tribe, right? That would take and in the resurrection, right? They would guide the people to victory at home. They'd be the priest tribe. They said, okay, but they're not doing their job. And personally, I'd be surprised if any of them make it through the tribulation. I'd be very surprised. I'd be the most surprised of all, but I don't think they're going to make it. I know we're going to have a different. See, someone asked me the other day, says, about this re-energizing. I really didn't want to answer because, I mean, after all the things I've been saying, they should be understanding by now. You get the engine's not going to control you. You manage the energy. So you get it. That's still, I mean, because you get an energy bird. Now, what are you going to do with it? Are you going to go pursue the American dream? You going to go try to get a lottery number? It's up to you. So some of you that energy is not going to help you at all because you're going to be, that's going to make you cling hard to the earth. You know, sometimes people ask certain questions, you wonder, they pay attention to anything? If you get still, it depends on how you manage it or mismanage it. 'Cause everybody's going to get it. The devil's going to use it to try to control us. What's going on, bro? So let me play this and then move on. Because he said he couldn't find anybody to help. What is saying here? It means the Levites didn't stand up. Imagine, he's the only Levite that stood up. He met the God himself. He stood up. And then he departed. And they let some dog. Farrakhan is the most easiest recognizable enemy ever. So, like I said, Satan clothes himself, angel light, at least he tries to disguise himself. But, yeah, he's so out. All you got to do is read the scripture, read anything. You can't, either not there, or it is there, you come from shit. So he's Aaron. Okay, what did Aaron do when Elijah Muhammad departed? What did he do? He's Peter. What did Peter do? Oh, he's the Messiah. Oh, if he's a Messiah, that means he is total sync with the will of Allah, right? And what the will of Allah is. Destroy this, destroy it. That's what I read right here. But he said, no, I don't want to do that. I don't want to see America. I don't want to see nothing happen to America. I love it here. But the will of Allah is that we're going to go home. It says that's what he says he's going to do. But he's totally in disagreement with that. But he claims he's in the will, he's in 3 weeks. The will of Allah, the will of Allah. And this asshole is totally against the will of Allah. Because it said the will of Allah is right there. Scripture tell you very clearly where it is. He's going to judge this nation. He's going to destroy it. That's what like Muhammad said. Message of black men, fall of America. Going to destroy it. He's going to take us home. That's a clear message. Farrakhan is totally against it. He don't want to destroy America. We ain't going nowhere. How the hell you can get past all that? Unless you're a goddamn fool just like he is, or you're a demon. How can you get past that? It's a clear message. Don't be so cute. The emotional contact. Well, hang on with that. How's that working? Because right now, it's like, you don't got to have a kiss somebody's ass, and all of a sudden they ain't around to kiss the ass anymore. What you going to do then? See? And be careful, Farrakhan, at least before you wipe his ass. But now you can't wipe it. So what do you kiss him? Shit and piss in the bag. These kids so corny. They're so stupid. They had that when Aretha Franklin's birthday, not her funeral, right? I believe that's what it was. And so he was there. I think Clinton was there and all the people. They had him sitting over the side, right? And so these clowns talked about it on the so-called broadcast. And everybody took a break, right? And this dude made a big thing. Farrakhan, man, everybody got him, took a break, everything. Farrakhan had to do nothing. He's tough. He's a soldier, man. He just stood there, yeah. Because he's putting his shit in the bag. God damn. It cracked me up. But the point is that it says the most severe chastisement, boy, it will be. Because they have no comeback. You can't come back. Show me one lesson just what we just saw. Show me one lesson or anything Elijah Muhammad said just what we said. They are brothers. That's my brother. And this is this and that. Okay, let me play this blow season and we'll try to get straight to my own presentation here.
Three. I have trodden the winepress alone, and of the people there was none with me, for I will tread them in mine anger, and trample them in my fury, and their blood shall be sprinkled upon my garments, and I will stain all my raiment. For the day of vengeance is in mine heart, and the year of my redeemed is come. 5 And I looked, and there was none to help, and I wondered that there was none to uphold, therefore mine own arm brought salvation unto me, and my fury, it upheld me. 6 And I will tread down the people in mine anger, and make them drunk in my fury, and I will bring down their strength to the earth.
Here I go. I forgot my. Okay, let me repeat what I said, brothers and sisters. See here, it's saying, look, this is supposed to be. This is the Messiah talking here, right? I will tread them in my anger, and tremble in my fury. Their blood shall sprinkle my garments, right? Right? And for the day of vengeance is mine. Right? It's in my heart to redeem, the nation. Right? And then down in the Bible says, I will tread down people with my anger and make them drunk in my fury. But this is the Messiah's talking. Farrakhan claims he's the Messiah. And he's telling just the opposite. I don't want to see nothing happen to America. I love America. I want to stay here. How can we make America good? Yet 3 weeks, got me total submission to the will of Allah. But that's the will of Allah right there, because the Messiah is doing Allah's will. He is the will of Allah. But with Farrakhan, it's just the opposite. And then it says, Suleiman, it says, there's a lesson about the civilized there's a lesson about the punishment of the civilized who don't, right? Who don't, I'm not saying, I'm paraphrasing, who don't go about the civilized, uncivilized. I should get the exact quote, but you get that idea. And so Levi's got a problem. Because their responsibility, their main responsibility, that's why Elijah had to do what he did. The main responsibility is to get this message to the tribe of Shabazz. See, they're the priest tribe, and they ain't doing it. That's why I said I can't get them to do anything. It's right there. I have tried the white person alone, and other people, there's none with me. Look, there was none to help. And when there was none to uphold, therefore I had to do it myself. See, that's their responsibility. The duty of civilized is I'm paraphrasing. I can bring it up, but I have to move on, brothers and sisters. I keep telling you about it, it's not a joke here. It's not a joke. People will find in a minute. And when they get this picture of Jesus and everything, when the real Son of Man comes, he gonna come kicking ass, fucking up people. Yeah, that's trying to get the spirit what you're gonna be dealing with. He telling him, he says to my Amalek, he said you're gonna destroy enemies total. Anybody and says anything in resistance is gonna break or crush. And so if you ain't with it, he said, if you ain't with me, you're against me. Some people, like I said, fire will either inspire you or burn you up. That's what it says. So let's see. Can't take 25 years. I'm 76 years old, on the case, no matter what, sick no matter what. And I make sure I get it right. But it's not a joke. And I ain't even asked to do it, don't even want to do it.
I believe that America can be beautiful. How can America be made beautiful? Now, family, listen. My brother Imam Wadakuddin and I have had disagreement, but his followers and mine have never given each other as much as a bloody nose. Because in spite of our differences, there's a deep love in us. We don't like the things about our nation that is not good, but I don't want to live anywhere else. I want America to be made right. I don't want to see America go the way of Rome and Babylon and Sodom and Gomorrah. But why won't she go that way? If the men of religion and the women of religion keep silent.
6. I will send him against an hypocritical nation, and against the people of my wrath will I give him a charge, to take the spoil, and to take the prey, and to tread them down like the mire of the streets. 7. Howbeit he meaneth not so, neither doth his heart think so, but it is in his heart to destroy and cut off nations not a few. 8. For he saith, Are not my princes altogether kings?
That's the true Messiah he's talking about there. That sound like Farrakhan? Understand? So something's wrong somewhere. Because he come to destroy. I want to see that happen in America. America. And the letter say clearly. And the Bible says also, it says, none are good, no, not one. He says all mankind. That means include him too, don't it? Sick. He's so obvious. And so the people around him, a lot of them ages and everything, because they know most of you so distracted that you believe this anything. Even on this, just there. But like Farrakhan, or my sister in Farrakhan, or my whatever. Cute, right? Or my friends in it, or whatever. You're dealing with emotional reason. You're dealing with intellectual reason. So we don't want you. Because it's easy to point that fool out. I mean, what the scriptures say, all the scriptures says, and he's saying, just, I don't want you to have, no, just on the, on, what do you call it? The Bayside. These people fucked over us for 40 years, especially fucked over our women like you can't imagine. You can't even imagine what it did to our women. It had our women terrorized 24/7, 365, every day for over 40 years. And they're still doing it now. They're raping our women, all this kind of stuff. Right? 40 years. Forced to eat shit. Shitlings, and worse than that. Actually, human shit, the Bible tells you has eaten human shit. That was the trick. They had this movie about Mandela, South Africa. And they did much worse than but there was a scene there where he was in prison, right? And that was one of the things the guys used to do to punish. They make one in prison eat shit. They did far worse than us over here. I got a book. I want to go get that book next time I show it. They said that was one of the punishments. If one slave hit another slave's mouth, and then his body so he could spit out. And we're going to forget that? Oh, man, forgive them, man. It's okay, man. They're okay. We just going to forget that? Just going to walk away and say, oh, man. Hey, bro, how you doing, bro? And every time we do it, they look at us and they know we goddamn fools. But they ain't going to tell you. They want you to stay a damn fool. Oh, my name is Jason Nickenbauer. They be laughing his ass off in the background. And let me say this. I'm not going to get to my full prayer. I say I can do it right now. This so-called Kirk thing, I keep telling you, it's setting you up. Because everybody, they're honoring this guy, and these guys are unknown racists. Obvious. But honoring them, because everybody's on board with it, because they finally got a president that's going to push the program openly. Openly. See? And so you don't understand what's going on here. You have no idea what's going on with that, because that's just the tip of the iceberg. And that's why that reminded me, because I talked about the plagues that would take place if they didn't let us go. First plague was COVID. And said one of the plagues was the plague of flies. And I'm going to go back and get that presentation, because it's out there. I think about a year ago, I did it several times, but I'm sure I did one last year about the plague. I said the plague of flies is this thing you see with false Israel. I said they're going to take and do all kind of undermine America and everything, undermine America, right? Because if America doesn't defend false Israel, and plus when false Israel goes down, They're gonna tear this country apart because they in all kinds of industry. I mean, they control so much stuff, and they're gonna put so much pressure on Trump. No, you got to go back in there, and he's not gonna go back in there. When this war resumes, over there, American business gonna be thrown out. God can make up, be thrown out in the Middle East, and false is gonna be abandoned because they cannot survive without America. America cannot go because they. Did you read this thing about the Senate the other day when they had that thing about UFOs? Did you understand that? Did you know that UFO they was talking about, that recent UFO, that was over in the Middle East? They said they shot a Hellfire missile at the thing and it hit it. And the missile just broke up and the thing went off like it was a mosquito bite or something. They actually hit it with a Hellfire missile. Oh, the Middle East was recent. I told you, it's Michael and his angels. I said when they go to war over there, right? Because right now they've been up forces. They know the only way they can take down Iran, they gotta either use nuclear or hit them with all kinds of bombardments, Air Force, the whole thing. But I told you, the Air Force could be annihilated. I told you, I'm telling you, I ain't warning you. I'm telling you, Matt's promise is Michael and his angels. Matt's promise is Michael. You're going to destroy the Air Force, but they can't tell American people how the Air Force got for us. How the Air Force got for us. Okay, I get a 76 right. You said anything anymore. The Air Force got destroyed. Oh, how we lose the Air Force? Mysterious. Iran couldn't take it out. Because Matt's promise going to take it out. That's why over there they monitor all their nuclear sites and everything else. They're not going to be using any nuclear weapons. They're going to try. They're going to be kicked out. And they're going to have to say, well, how do you lose the Air Force? Oh, it was Russia that helped them. That's going to trigger Armageddon. You're going to see this in a few more days, but as soon as that war resumes, as soon as it resumes, I didn't know it was going to be a pause. That surprised me too. But the war ain't over. A pause is like, you fight, and they sit down after in between rounds. The fight ain't over. It's just taking a pause. So that's what's happening, brothers and sisters. So it's plague of flies. You see it right now. That Kirk guy, right? It's obvious they took him out because he was going against, and anybody that, right? I'm sure Farrakhan had something to do with that because they probably told him to shut up because he said something about Netanyahu. Right after he said something about Netanyahu, right? Boom. Told him to shut up. They already blew his ass one time. He got the message. Who do you think blew his ass up with those radiation pellets? He said it to my synagogue I was reading. He got the message. Told him to shut up. He ain't said a damn thing since then, has he? So they want to come this way. I ain't hiding. I haven't never talked to Master Muhammad directly, but scriptures tell me that he's saying I don't have to worry about a goddamn thing, and I ain't. Right? Worry about a thing. So you want to shorten your days a little shorter? Bring it on. I can say certain things, but I'm not going to say them right now, right? Move on, brothers and sisters. See, this plague of flies means they're going to be plagues that is annoying, they're distracting, they're pests. So everybody's keep wondering, why America supporting false Israel? I'm trying to explain to you the dilemma. I mean, explain a little bit about it, bro. Since I think I'm not going to get too deep into what I was going to do today. I just explain about the dilemma they have. See, false Israel, they hate false Israel too. The Christians hate them. Remember, they was trying to eradicate them a few years back. Right? All of a sudden, they had to put them up there because deceive us, keep us blind to who we are. Oh, no, that's them. Because Elijah Muhammad said, we're true to Abraham. They, no, they can't have because true vision was unifying us. People without vision perish. So they put up there. So, and they got to keep enforcing that. False Israel knows the only reason they're here is to keep us blind. They know that. They know once they serve their purpose, they're going to get rid of them too. That's why you see they're in a rush to take over everything. All of a sudden, there's such a rush all of a sudden. And the poison is they're rushing, pushing. Why? Because they know that they're about to take us out. Remember, they all secret. See, the thing is, they got see. Remember, they devils too, but a lot of them incognito, right? And they got tape recorders, that stuff that these devils been saying in private. Yes, and that's why they don't want that played. See, because they know that's the only reason falsehoods are there to keep us blind. And with their plans, and they know they close in on us right now. They know they get right close on it. They said, we got to hurry up and get that Middle East under control. We got nuclear weapons. We got to control the Middle East, control the oil. Then they can protect ourselves. Because they know once we go on, they're going afterwards. We only want them to keep us down. That's what's going on. Because they got tapes, videos, and them saying stuff that they're going to do us. They're going to shoot. Like all of them. That's what's going on in the background. That's why he's scared to death. That's why he released all those Epstein files. Because the information, they say what she said, she kind of slipped up and said it, the so-called Pam Bondi, whatever her name is. What she said, this might send anti-Semitism off the page or something if we release this. Read the backstory. So we'll find out. Right? The secrets, but it's going to come out. Because it says what's hidden in the dark is going to sound on the rooftop. It's going to be exposed in a minute. All that's going to come out. What's going to come out once that war resumes? Because remember, falses will come out. Those over here, the ones called in Satan, what did so-called Jesus say? Those who call themselves Jews and are not a synagogue of Satan. They're Satan. So when false Israel is under attack and they want help, remember they will come out and just cause all kinds of stuff with so much pressure on it. We're going to do this. We'll shut this down. If you don't go back there and help, he's not going back over there because he knows it's war. Because he don't tell a lie that Russia's the one that destroys Air Force. Because he ain't going back there. They don't told him what the hell he was up against over there. He said, he ain't going back over there. Because you ask yourself a question. As the scripture said, he's going to kicked out. Why he not going back? They call us military power. They ain't going back. Because they ain't going back because they know what the hell they ran into over there. They don't have a chance against it. So they abandoned false Israel. When they abandon it, that's why they attack us because they know false Israel goes down, we get our vision back. See? But the people over here, so false Israel people over here, man, you got to go back. You got to go back and say, he won't do it. And then they're going to put pressure on him to do it. And they're going to start exposing everything. Because remember, they got information, man, Pollard guy, they got information on everything America's doing. Everything. That's why I said everything's going to be exposed. They're going to expose all. They threaten America right now. That's why they threaten. That's what Trump was under that threat. Oh, man, don't tell, oh, we're going to threaten all. You better help false Israel. This is really going on, brothers and sisters. Maybe I'll talk about it in more detail later, but that's what's going on. Hold on. There's more, brothers and sisters. You're going to wake up in a minute. But some of you are going to be in shock. You'll wake up in panic. But you're going to wake up. No doubt about that. And what you do with it, that's up to you. Here it is. It's clear right there. I will send a messenger prepared way before me. So Elijah was prepared way for somebody. But no, he's a last one. He's a child leader of Islam. It says it right there. And the Lord in secret suddenly come to this temple. Come to Elijah's temple. Even the messenger of the covenant. Who delight in? He's coming. But no, ain't nobody after Elijah. Well, they use this to prove that Elijah exists, but the rest of it, they don't want to talk about. They never mentioned, to show they know they're lying, because they never mentioned the messenger of the covenant. If they had different interpretation, they would mention it. They have a different interpretation because they know exactly what it is. If they had a different interpretation, they would mention it. Say, well, it's, but they don't mention it. That shows consciousness of they know what it is, and it's lying. Here it is, measure of covenant. And right here, and this is about us going at 40 years, right? You leisure, right? 40 years in bondage and everything else. Afterwards, it says, and the same day the Lord made a covenant. That's his word. That's more than a promise. It's his word. Undeniable word. Saying, until I see, that's not fair, God. I have given this land and to what land? From the river Euphrates to the great river of Egypt, river Euphrates. That's Arabia. Look on the map. Why they talk about the first part up here and never talk about this part? Why talk about Elijah? Don't talk about the message of covenant. You see why? First one doesn't apply to Farrakhan, does it? He want to keep on keep you here because he's getting rich off you. He's for you. The buzzards don't want to get rid of the dead bodies because that's their food. Keep you dead, laying there. This is very simple stuff, brothers and sisters. So it says, Elijah Muhammad said, the truth be made so clear in the fool and error. So if you err, then you worse than a fool. Okay, I'm gonna get to the main and then I'm close, brothers and sisters. Oh, here we go. Hold on, brothers and sisters. Hope they ain't got to change this thing again. Because I got no heart attack, but oh boy, I tell you. Mhm. 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 Okay, let's see what happens, brothers and sisters. Phew. Okay, we're gonna go to okay, let's go to this one. Now I'm short here, brothers and sisters, is see, as energy you lose control, we lose control our nation as energy decreases. Because as the universe opens expands, that means expand by energy spreading out. That means less energy here. So less energy, less control you have. That's what's shown here. So right. See, if you look closely, that's what it says. You're losing control, so therefore you lose expanding out. See, lose control. So we start losing control of the nation. King lose control of the nation. And you see where part of us may turn to demons because of rape and everything else, right? But then as the universe start contracting, then we start bringing back control again. As long as we stay in sync with the, right? As long as we stay in sync, right? So okay, as we get energy, we gain more control. I'm trying to make a point here. As you get more energy, then you take and get more control. That's if you manage energy properly. Now watch this. Now in this case here, right, you're trying to gain control before you have enough energy to do it. See what's happening to the ones trying to do it? Coming apart because he's tearing himself apart because he can't have enough energy to lose control. So in other words, he's tearing himself, he's being pulled apart, couldn't have enough energy to do it. So the timing ain't right. He doesn't have any energy to do it, but he's trying to do it anyway. This refers to like Farrakhan trying to control the nation. He's a robber. He don't have the energy to do it. You're also talking about the Messiah because he can't do it on time. That's what when you're ready, your people be ready. So it had to be on time. So knowing, right, it tell like 35 years, push it. Well, you're not gonna get it. And so, and why waste time trying to do that? Because you can't do it. If you do it, you're going to destroy yourself in the process, right? But just keep your timing right. So I should get a basic idea about sisters. That's what's showing here. Let's move on. And watch this. See here? When you put, see, you put pressure on something. Okay, that's going to be a problem. I didn't fix that. But let me test this for a short brothers and sisters. I see a problem already. Hold on. Okay. Mm, no. Hold on. Let me see if this is right here. Okay, it's good now. Okay. Okay, brothers and sisters, here what we're showing here is now we're in this condition because if you hold a balloon, if you step on a balloon underwater, the balloon gonna stay on the water as long as you keep pressing it down, right? If you move your hand, the balloon can pop back up. And I'm trying to get people to understand this principle because the state of our people right now is because of the pressures on our people. Because we acting on ourselves. This ain't the way we want to act. This ain't the way we want to live. This ain't what we want to do. But we acting this way. We wouldn't act this way if there wasn't a force that's caused us to act this way. Like I say, you can tell that the wind's blowing. You have to see the wind, but you can see the leaves. So you know. And so the point is, if we're in this condition, we're in the condition. Pharaoh can't tell you we're in this because it's our fault. The leaves are blowing because it's their fault. It ain't no wind. It's just the leaves just blowing. That's a lie he's telling you because he don't put the fault on ourselves. When it's the force that's causing this. It may be invisible. To you, it's invisible. It's not to me because I know what it is. But it means it's all of America. All of America. Because if it wasn't, some parts would go up. In other words, if you take it, you got a bunch of balloons, right? All of them down, it means some hold all of them down. If some of them down, some will rise up. All of America. Ain't none of them good. But the point is, they say, oh, I'm good, I'll smile, I'm your brother. They keep a whole nation down. Otherwise, part of the nation would rise up. We ain't just, okay, Farrakhan, we like this because we want to be, we evil, wicked. No. Because we submitted and somebody's holding us down. You can't see it, but you don't have to see who's holding us down. All you got to do is see the effect. Are we acting like we're supposed to act? We got some example. We can look back at Africa to get some kind of idea. We know we ain't acting like if they are people. If we want to assume that, which is, you know, but even so, we ain't acting like them. We acting like something you don't even know what it is. Clowns, poles, pimps, call ourselves niggas and dogs and kind of. So that means there's a force that's causing that. You can't stop a hen from acting like a hen, a lamb from acting like a lamb, but they act other than that because there's a force doing it. If you see a lion that's tame because somebody's got a force on it, the force goes, it turns back to what it is. It's back to nature. You understand that point? If we're kind of lying to you, say, oh, we like this because we're sinful. Well, that must be our nature then. Because why would we go against our nature willingly? Nothing in nature goes against their own nature willingly. Nothing. The devils don't go against their nature. They're wicked and evil. They don't go against their nature. Nothing goes. You can't. How do you go against your own nature? You have to be forced to go against your own nature. You don't see no lions out there acting like kitty cats. You don't see no zebra acting like, little ponies. Nothing goes against their nature willingly. That means that we're going to get our nation. There's a force that's causing it. Now you can't see the force, but you could tell the effect of it. Right? So and it's the entire, it's America. Being here in America is causing us to act like clowns and everything else. Farrakhan, see Farrakhan right there? He said, well, he's the priest. Make sure we stay here and stay on that condition. See? You understand, brothers and sisters? What happens? You understand? You understand that concept? But Farrakhan's lying to you. Tell, no, it's you. You're the problem. You're the wicked. You're because you're wicked. Basically, going to judge this nation. Abraham covenant, right? So if we wicked, why are you judging them? Should be judging us, right? So we're going home. They're going to be judged. But see, he's telling you that. Show you who he's working for. Watch this. And once they go away, boom, then you rise up to who you are. Because they're holding you down. They're going to attack you to make sure you stay down. Understand principle. I'm going to go to the next one, then I'm going to close, brother and sister. See? Farrakhan trying to convince you that you're in this condition because you're wicked evil. Well, they brought us over here, didn't they? Why was we act like that was over? Why was we act like that was over back in Africa? Why did he start like once he got here? Let's show you who he is. Okay, let's go to the next one, brothers and sisters. Now, watch this. See? And this is the universe expands and contracts. So when it starts contracting, means energy start coming back, more energized. Right? Show the other, right? So here we are. We're in America. And this universe, right? That's the res of the universe. Right? And so the universe is contracting now, so what happens? Okay. And now we got an energy wave, which we get one probably every 50 years, and I'm going to it today, but since I talked about it before. Every 50 years, you can tell by the music. Probably every 50 years, we get energized and we get more control. And they try to stop it with a war, and there's some kind of conflict. So we energized. First one was 1860s. We broke out physical chains. Then we start growing. Ooh, they force try to stop us. They lose control now. You see, 1860s, right? About 50 years later, it was niggers then. 50 years later, jazz. That was blues back then. Go check when the blues came out. 1860s. When jazz came out 50 years later. Now another energy wave is coming. 1920s. Okay. Just read another one. So momentum was in heaven earth, but it comes all of a sudden. So it's absorbed it. Now bam. You're going, yo, gotta stop them. We lose control of them. Then what? Then 50 years later, right? 50, 100, right? 1860s, so that should be 1970s, right? Right on time. So now we ain't niggers no more. Now we ain't colored people no more. We went from niggers being colored people. Now we rose. Say it loud, black and proud. You know, the energy wave is on the way. 1970s, 60s, 70s, boom. What happens then? Ooh, gotta stop these niggas. So now, we're on the 50-year mark again. 2020s. It was a spark. You see what's going on right now? Let me explain to you in more detail. A spark that ignited all those different, and we're about to have another change right now. Black folks, because right now, black folks get more angry. They want to say, hey, want more. They don't want to give it to them. Now they got a president that's openly want to keep us down. Now, let me see this phenomenon, if you understand it. I said you get energy wave. The energy wave is if not infinite, So that's like 10 trillion tons or something, right? Okay, everybody absorbs that. They got 50 years to absorb it. It's 50, like it rains. It's ever rain once a year. Then you got a whole pool. You got a whole pool of rain. Right? Then all the animals, everything live off of it. Right? It's got to last 50 years. If they run out in 48 years, they got 2 years of drought. That's trouble. They could if it's too much, right? If they run out before, they could, nothing until it comes again. That's what you see in the deserts, right? Animals start dying and everything else, the bugs start coming out because they ran out of water. Same thing here. Now you got so many people on the planet. We've already absorbed all the energy. So when that happens, right, that means we have less energy. So we start losing control. The control that we gained so far. But that puts the devil at advantage because the lower the energy, the more power they have relevant to us. And if you understand that, you see what's going on right now. Because right now, you got a president and you got the people, the attitude and everything is to get us under more control now. Push back. Push back in the 70s. Back in the 20s. Stop affirmative action. Stop all these different programs. Push back. Because our energy, we've absorbed all the energy. So we got a little famine going, a little drought going. Right? But the point is, it's almost in because we're going to get that burst any day now. But that's what's going on right now. You got the little drought period. And so now they're trying to gain more control again. God says back. See? And that's what's going on right now. So in other words, that's because like in my life, I say, oh, all these things happening and stuff. I know why it's happening because there's drought. Not as much energy, so things is not falling apart. Not that bad, but it is. Right? And then once you get energy burst, it's going to be new music. Remember, first hit 1860 blues, 1920 jazz, 1960s soul, Motown, what you want to call it. And now you got another one. Each one was more invigorating. This is going to be victory. You understand, brothers and sisters? But we went through a little famine period right here. Right? We're going to use up all the energy from last, got so many people on the planet. So, boom, then we get energy burst. Now we're going to be enough to burst out of America. But they want to attack us more viciously to try to stop us. You understand, brothers and sisters? They're not going to be able to do it. They attack us more viciously to stop us. Hope you understand, brothers and sisters. We get a little drought period, but things ain't going so well. And, you know, you're getting that. It's not old age. You're wilting like flower. If it stops getting enough water and nutrition stuff, it's starting to go old. It just needs more water and nutrition. If you just think about it, brothers and sisters, this dumbass, what's his name, Wesley? Or the sun, we get energy from. That's bullshit. Says you don't live by bread alone, but all the words come out of God's mouth or something to the extent. Every time the universe is contracting, that means more energy is coming back to the earth again. Christ is earth and heavens was one. That means energy is so it means that's your primary source of energy. That's why the energy is because the energy is spared so much there was very little energy here, so we couldn't control anything anymore. So we live Lamborghini, so we produce a Volkswagen Beetle that didn't need much energy, so they could rule. You understand, brothers and sisters? Oh, let me show one more thing at a close. One thing. Hope you understand that. Because they're going to violently attack us to stop us from the next stage. But as the next stage is victory, we get out of here. Okay, let me go to the next one, then I'm close. Oops, forgot that. See here? That's a resonance. That's why it says, remember the timing? Because they knew it wouldn't happen until a certain time. So just keep on putting that truth, angel truth. Angel truth, that's the light. It says, people sit in darkness, see the great light. So keep on, light is resonance, because light, it keeps heat. You keep pouring light on something, it gets hot. Because light has heat in it. Right? So you keep on, angel, third means keep on. And Farrakhan's trying to hold it back. He's trying to hold it back. And he's keeping all the people in darkness back there. You can't see like he's blocking it. So what happens? Oops. Went too fast. Okay. Now it's it's blocking, it gets hot, start getting on fire. He's blocking it, but he's blocking, getting on fire, it's getting hot. It's getting hard to block it, man. It's getting hot. Right? See what happens next. Because soon I keep on going. It says, who Lord will consume with spirit of his mouth and destroy the brightness of his coming. So it means there's truth. Okay, then what? Now fire catching fires on him. He's burning up. Then what happens? Boom, burns him out. Now they get the light. Now they're getting the light. People said in dark see the great light. They've been blocking it. Hope you understand that, brothers and sisters. Let me move on. Go ahead, my little heart attack stroke they've been trying to give me all day, because I tell you, I tried to bring up a couple times a day, a couple 3 hours every time I did it. Last time I actually got it up, and then I looked and started playing, and then the damn thing worked. So what happened? So I guess I got through it. Everything looks okay. I got a lot of monitors here, so I guess I got through it. But they're trying to give me a stroke, bro. So they actually in my. Don't worry about it. They're not going to win. They can't win, but you can't blame for trying. Remember, Master Muhammad says, Michael, who is Michael? I couldn't tell you Michael is. Michael's the one going to deliver us. He must be Master Muhammad. Michael's angels. Let me say one more thing before I close. We're going from, okay, you got the seasons. So we're the worst winter ever because energy deprivation worse, at least for our age on the planet. So now we start to energize again. The universe is contracting. So the thing is that what happens is that like it's going from winter to spring. But we're summer people. Right? So we need a transition. We'll talk more in the day. I'll give you a short version. A transition to summer, which is spring. Right? So we don't have enough energy. See, once we escape the devils, we don't have enough energy. Still don't have enough energy to control the planet yet. See, it's going to take 7 more waves before we have enough energy to control the planet, because we lost control of the planet 6,000 years ago. And we had the bottom. It took 6,000 years to get to the bottom. So it took 6,000 years to get to the bottom. It takes 6,000 years to get to the top again. Right? So now we're at the bottom. So now we're rising back to the top. It'll take 6,000 years. We need a transition team. See? We don't want to use the devil. We want to use a transition team. And see, that's how all these things fall into place. Because the transition team would be somebody that was half Lamborghini, had an engine like a Lambo engine, but Volkswagen Beetle body. Get it? Have a Lamborghini engine, but so it don't need that much maintenance. So you can get around. Well, got that power to get around, but it don't look that good. Because Volkswagen Beetles, they didn't have that much power, and they didn't look that good either. Now you got some of this mixture. So Lamborghini, because we Lamborghinis, we got the body and the power. Right? So they said, okay, we need a transition team. So we need somebody with a power engine. That's what Master Muhammad is. He's a transition team. And that's why it says in the angel, if you understand your key, there's angels or the Shia. They're transition team too. They're white skinned, but they're original people. So they can rule for the next 6,000 years. They can rule it rightly and justly. And I have no problem with it. You don't have a problem either unless you're a devil or a demon. They're a transition team for the next 6,000 years. And then, like Muhammad talked about that, he didn't talk about it like that way, but he said Master Muhammad was a made God. He said the original God is more powerful, and that eventually the rule will be given back to private Shabbos again. Hope you understand, brothers and sisters. I'll leave it there. Assalamu alaikum.
believe that America can be beautiful. How can America be made beautiful? Now, family, listen. My brother Imam Wadakuddin and I have had disagreement, but his followers and mine have never given each other as much as a bloody nose. Because in spite of our differences, there's a deep love in us. We don't like the things about our nation that is not good, but I don't want to live anywhere else. I want America to be made right. I don't want to see America go the way of Rome and Babylon and Sodom and Gomorrah. But why won't she go that way? If the men of religion and the women of religion keep silent.
"49. I am come to send fire on the earth, and what will I, if it be already kindled? 50. But I have a baptism to be baptized with, and how am I straitened till it be accomplished? 51. Suppose ye that I am come to give peace on earth? I tell you, nay, but rather division. 52. For from henceforth there shall be 5 in one house divided, 3 against 2, and 2 against 3. 53. The father shall be divided against the son, and the son against the father, the mother against the daughter, and the daughter against the mother-in-law against her daughter-in-law, and the daughter-in-law against her mother-in-law.
When the Muslims were alive, I'll say it again. When the Muslims were alive, you dead as hell now on both sides.
Yes, sir, brother Minister. Yes, we are. Yes, sir. That's real, brother Minister. Both sides. That's real.
Wake us up, dear Apostle.
When we was alive, we set up schools.
That's right.
When we were alive, we had supermarkets.
That's right.
We owned buildings. We owned farmland. We were busy doing something, hiring our people. Well, I'm telling the Muslims, damn it, if you don't come alive, you will die like you are. And I will say, thank you, Allah, because if they're not doing nothing on top of the earth, let the worms eat their ass.
We own no land here in America. Out of all the 50 states now that America's on, she have not as yet offered to her 22 million free slaves who served their father for 300 years in servitude. Not even the teeniest state in the Union. She has not offered her slave nothing to go upon. While Israel was offered something to leave Egypt with, a few gold pieces. They was helped to get out of Egypt. But we have been let loose like cattle, not even having any chance whatsoever to go away from our slave masters to our own. And they would not carry us back to our people. Let us remember these things. Almighty God, Allah taught us that our fathers wanted to go back to their people when they was put off on the shores of North America. And this ship, Jesus, that John Hawkins brought our parents here on, they stood and stared at it disappearing in the horizon, crying, wanting to return, with their hands stretched out towards that ship, and tied in chains themselves, bound together, feet. And when they was put off on this memorable shows, they stood there staring at that ship that brought them to a strange land and a strange people who could not speak either one's language. Now they have to live in a strange country and a strange people who had proven to them every mile from their native land that they were going to be the worst enemies that they ever lived with. They were going to be the people that would destroy them. They soon discovered that on the ship that they were being brought here on. I don't know how we should say anything in the name of Jesus of good for us when this ship was named Jesus. This is how that we have always been deceived by the white man, trying to use Jesus, the name Jesus, to lull us off in a mental sleep, thinking that we are on our way to heaven. This is terrible. My beloved brothers and sisters, this is very hard for us to even to accept today. Imagine our parents standing crying to return to their native land and people, and you here today crying to stay with the very enemy that brought our fathers in subjection to their will. You are now turning your face from your own native land and turning it back towards our own prison house and our own enemies who have destroyed us and seeks to further destroy us. How do you feel? How do you feel? Not wanting to return to your people. They are trying to make love with the very people that destroyed you and your parents. How do you feel acting such? And even today, they are beating and shooting you down throughout the country. There is no justice here for you and me. Why should not you want to be separated and be returned to your own? I ask you that question. Think over your parents on the eastern shores of North America, crying and praying to God to be returned to their own 400 years ago. How would they like, or you like to see them rise up in the judgment condemning you for being such fools as now want to live in the land that absolutely enslaved them and killed them and beat them for 300 long years here. They would condemn you as being fools for not wanting to be separated and go to your own, build up a nation for yourself after the white man say you are free. Remember that.
So long till they don't know the birth record, so they just say from remotest antiquity, this is the house that God used to manifest his wisdom, knowledge, understanding, and power in and through. Where is he now? Wherever he want to be. I'm not going to say I know where he is, but I'm glad his power is everywhere. I think I know where he is. I don't want to say because I could be wrong. But he's wherever he wishes to be. Are we to pray and worship Master Farad Muhammad? You don't worship the flesh of any man, because the flesh is going to die. But in that flesh is a wisdom and a power superior to any human being on the earth. So when we look to Allah in the person of Master Farad Muhammad, we look to him. And when he ain't no longer here, the power is going to be here. Honorable Elijah Muhammad said he would live a minimum of 400 years, but 400 years ain't no time. He'll be gone. But before he goes, the foundation of what he lays will never be erased from the planet. That's a God. He prays. He prays. He don't pray to himself. You don't say, surely I have turned myself to me. Who does he pray to? He prays in remembrance of him who originated that which he came in. He came in this body. You can't ignore him who originated this. Anyway, it's deep. It's a big subject. I want to say to my Muslim brothers, when I was in Mecca, I was there for 3 days. I was there for 3 days, and in the 3 days that I was there, wrangling with the scholars, we talked about this. And when I finished explaining, the heaviest scholars there didn't bother to argue. They had to go away and study it. And what we don't realize is God has chosen the foolish things of the world to confound the wise. And what you're doing, You are following those that God wants to put you over. The Arab is a good person, basically. They've done a wonderful job in keeping the book of God pure. And we are grateful to them for so doing. But they messed up. It's your turn now. And God will see how you act. But you're not to follow Arabs. You're to lead them. And you can't lead them following them. See, they like to see you imitating them. Just like white Christians want to see black Christians imitating them. We're not to follow white people today. They had their day of rule, and their day of rule is up. That's all. God is going to replace them with a new ruler. And whether you like it or not, the new ruler is black. He have hair like lamb's wool, and he has feet like burnished brass. And if y'all can't take a black leader, then you might as well get off the planet.
Beloved brothers and sisters, one of the greatest practices in all the religions is prayer. The form and style of prayer varies from faith to faith, but prayer is universal. There is no religious community that does not pray. No prophet of God that did not pray. Abraham prayed, Noah prayed, Moses prayed, David prayed, Joseph prayed, Jesus prayed, Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, prayed, Master Fard Muhammad prays.
We have a lot of that going on, but we're taking care of our farmers. We can't let our farmers not have anybody, these are these people, you can't replace them very easily. People that live in the inner city are not doing that work. They're just not doing that work. And they've tried, we've tried, everybody tried. They don't do it. These people do it naturally. I said, what happens if they get it to a farmer the other day? What happens if they get a bad back? He said, they don't get a bad back, sir, because if they get a bad back, they die. I said, that's interesting, isn't it?
Well, you heard that. Donald Trump is a believer in eugenics. He believes that white people are the superior race. And inner city is code for black people. And he believes black people cannot now work on the farms. I guess they're not good enough for that. So Hispanic people can do it because they have the backs for it. This is what this man is saying out loud in interviews. He is a racist. It's been proven time and time again. The man had Mein Kampf on his bedside table that he would read at night. Enough to let you know where he stands on that. Just more outrageous, racist things from Donald Trump. They want to arrest those who can do the farm work, well, until their backs give out. And then he'll probably ship them to El Salvador or some other country. Just more vile statements from the president and let you know where he stands.
notice when they were arresting people for praying outside of abortion clinics? I mean, I do think the UK, and I say this as, you know, someone who is half English, I think it's like reached, or it is quickly reaching a point where democratic reforms are going to be pretty tough because of the demographic change. And that, of course, the point of importing all these people is to overwhelm the people who live there who disapprove of the program. So you don't have to care what they think because you just bring in new people and their will becomes like all that matters. And so I don't think you're going to fix these things through elections at some point, probably pretty soon. And I just worry a place like the UK, Canada is another, a bunch of different countries in the West are at the point where they're literally revolutionary. They are poised for revolution. And as someone who really doesn't support revolution and hates violence and hates civil war above all, I'm worried about that. I mean, I don't see how this is fixed. Starmer, who's, you know, he's just an instrument of larger forces, but he's a poisonous character, obviously, who's really hurt your country. He's in there for, 4 more years? And so you wonder, like, people are going to start to get really radical in a scary way. Like, I think this is going to happen. And the people in charge don't seem to care.
Well, you're already seeing it. You are seeing the anger beginning to manifest itself, and I completely understand the anger. I don't, like you, I abhor any form of violence, but I do understand the anger when you have, you know, Keir Starmer campaigned on, I'm going to smash the gangs that allow these little boats to come over the channel, delivering tens of thousands of people illegally into the country. And they then get put into these so-called asylum hotels where they're given a pretty good lifestyle, certainly a far better lifestyle than many people really struggling at the moment in the UK. And of course, far from smashing the gangs, it turned out yesterday that he's smashing new records for the number of people coming in illegally on the boats. Of course. It's out of control. And the British public are reaching a point of saying, we are done with people coming in illegally and being treated better in a more comfortable and more luxurious manner than we treat our own people.
Well, the whole point is to humiliate and degrade the indigenous population of the British Isles, the white population. I mean, that's the whole point. And are they really going to do something about it? What would that be exactly?
Public are reaching a point of saying, we are done with people coming in illegally and being treated better in a more comfortable and more luxurious manner than we treat our own people.
Well, the whole point is to humiliate and degrade the indigenous population of the British Isles, the white population. I mean, that's the whole point. And are they really going to do something about it? What would that be exactly? You'd really have to force a lot of people to go back to their countries of origin, millions of people, and you need to do it really soon. And are they actually willing to do that? I don't know, but these are existential questions that we have been browbeat into ignoring for decades. But the question is, like, is Ireland Ireland? If it's majority non-Irish, oh, shut up, they're Irish. No, they're actually not Irish. Same with the UK, same with England, Scotland, Wales. Like, it's all changing so fast. Nothing like this has ever happened in all of history, except when, say, the Mongols swept across the steppe and raped everybody. Like, that was true demographic change on this scale. But even that wasn't as profound as what we're seeing in every white country around the world. I would say the West, but Australia and New Zealand also. So, like, what is that? Now, my brain is not big enough to understand what that is. I have a lot of theories about it, but I don't know if they're true. All I know is what the numbers are, and that's real, and no one feels that he can say it. Everyone's like, oh, well, if that were happening in China or India or Malaysia or Senegal, it doesn't matter. You'd be like, what the hell is that? Like, the population's totally different. Look at graduation. Pick, King's College Law School, and look at the graduation picture for the last 30 years. Who's in it? Just, like, let your eyes tell you the truth for once. Like, this is a total change in population. Is it better? Is it worse? Can't have that conversation. Who's pushing this? Does the population want it? The population clearly doesn't want it. There's no polling that's meaningful on the subject. I mean, there's no referendum on it. You don't get to decide. You've got no voice in it, other than you get to go to jail if you complain loudly enough about it. What is this? I think it's the biggest and darkest thing that has happened in the last 1,000 years, for sure. And I think it's leading somewhere really, really bad. It's not happening by accident, that's obvious, because it's only happening in white countries.
I mean, I think that...
Oh, shut up, white supremacist. Well, in fact, I'm not a white supremacist.
Well,
I'm just noticing what the hell's going on.
I think most people I've spoken to about this in the UK most people have always viewed the UK to be a very tolerant, multicultural, cosmopolitan place to live. That's why so many people want to come here. And people have no problem with that. And it's been very successful for a long period of time.
Wait, it's multicultural? What does that mean?
We have a lot of different people from different countries, different cultures, and it's always worked historically.
So is Sharia law in a multicultural country, is Sharia law? What does that mean?
We have a lot of different people from different countries, different cultures, and it's always worked historically.
So is Sharia law in a multicultural country, is Sharia law every bit as valid as English common?
No, people don't want Sharia law here. No.
A lot of people do. Wait, hold on. I don't know what you mean. Multiculturalism itself is a lie designed to subvert a society. No, a society has a culture. You can argue about what it is or ought to be. It's not necessarily the same as race. It's connected to race, but it's not the same. People from different races can buy into your culture. That was kind of the beauty of the West. But a multicultural society is not sustainable. There's never been such a thing.
Is
one culture will dominate.
Hang on, Tucker. Surely the United States of America, given the very way it was created, is the epitome of a multicultural society. And my point I was going to make to you was...
It's absolutely not. No. It's a multiracial society.
Yeah.
Though it was not actually a multiracial society up until pretty recent. It was just like 90% white for most of its existence, but whatever. But you did have different peoples, you had different religions. That was all totally fine, but there was one culture, as American culture. There's no such thing as a multicultural society. It's not sustainable. One culture will overwhelm the other. Again, it's not the same as race. It's not identical to race. It's connected, but it's not the same. But multiculturalism is by definition insane. No, it's never happened. It never will happen. One culture will predominate. It will impose its values on everybody else. I mean, the gay thing, which was not a thing 40 years ago, gay was a slur, all of a sudden becomes multicultural there. There's one culture, and it's required. And that's true in every society because a culture is a commonly agreed upon set of values, which in their firmest form are called laws.
But those values can evolve.
This is true everywhere.
But those values can evolve.
Of course they evolve, but there's only one set of them. It's not multicultural. There's one set. You worship one God in every society. Sorry.
But your country's values were established by the United States Constitution, and that's had, 27 amendments? Right, so your own values, as determined by the Founding Fathers, they have evolved and been changed to accommodate changing times.
There's no doubt. Look, I'm not even arguing against change. That's natural. It's natural that people's views evolve.
So the culture changes.
Once you start rejecting the laws of nature, then you're doomed. But let me just say, no, of course, societies change. I get it. All I'm saying, I'm making a very discrete, specific point, which is multiculturalism as an idea is laughably stupid. It has never worked. We never had it anywhere, and it never will exist because it's contrary to human nature. One culture, one way of looking at things, one worldview will predominate, and it will punish all who deviate from it. That is the nature of societies. So if you're telling me it's
determined by the Founding Fathers, they have evolved and been changed to accommodate changing times.
There's no doubt. Look, I'm not even arguing against change. That's natural. It's natural that people's views evolve.
So those values can evolve.
There's one culture, and it's required. And that's true in every society because a culture is a commonly agreed upon set of values, which in their firmest form are called laws.
But those values can evolve.
This is true everywhere.
But those values can evolve.
Of course they evolve, but there's only one set of them. It's not multicultural. There's one set. You worship one God in every society. Sorry.
But your country's values were established by the United States Constitution, and that's had, 27 amendments? Right, so your own values, as determined by the Founding Fathers, they have evolved and been changed to accommodate changing times.
There's no doubt. Look, I'm not even arguing against change. Natural that people's views evolve.
So the culture changes.
Once you start rejecting the laws of nature, then you're doomed. But let me just say, no, of course, societies change. I get it. All I'm saying, I'm making a very discrete, specific point, which is multiculturalism as an idea is laughably stupid. It has never worked. We never had it anywhere, and it never will exist because it's contrary to human nature. One culture, one way of looking at things, one worldview will predominate, and it will punish all who deviate from it. That is the nature of societies. So if you're telling me it's multicultural, we can all live and like have radically different values, that's just not true. It's never been true. It never will be true. So you're having one culture, one worldview predominate over another and dominate and suppress all dissent. Like that's just what it is, dude. Let's be honest.
I would point to the United States of America and the United Kingdom as two shining examples, albeit not completely without their flaws, but shining examples of places that are deemed by the rest of the certainly feel that about my country.
Well, I certainly think that inherent in Christianity is the notion of tolerance, and that draws from a core Christian concept, which is free will. You cannot force someone to convert. There's never been conversion by the sword in Christianity. People decide to believe in it. And so that is central to the religion, therefore it's been central to the society. Western civilization is Christian civilization. And so we call that tolerance. It's a respect for your inherent God-given right to make a choice about what you believe. Okay, so of course, that's always been a feature. My only point is, a society has a commonly agreed upon set of beliefs, rules, and laws that are the definition of the society itself. That's what society is. So you can't have competing. You can't have, gay world and Sharia world living co-equally in a society. That does not happen. It will never happen. You have to pick one. Are we the Sharia society? Are we the party time gay rights society? Like, which one? And you can't face that reality. So you're just sort of snoozing along until the inevitable point where you're going to wake up and be like, my values have no bearing on what our society is anymore because we've been invaded by other people with a totally different worldview and they're now in charge. And that day is coming very soon for your country, and maybe it'll improve it. I don't think the UK could be a lot worse than it already is. It's this kind of disgusting, sad, self-hating, suicidal island that was once great. It kills me to see it as a half English person, but that day is coming. It will change. You will either decide to be Western or Eastern. That's a choice that we're all going to face. I don't want to face that choice, but it's being foisted upon us by the architect. That's a choice that we're all going to face. Suicidal island that was once great. It kills me to see it as a half English. That day is coming. It will change. You will either decide to be Western or Eastern. That's a choice that we're all going to face. I don't want to face that choice, but it's being foisted upon us by the architects of mass migration. Sorry.
I would question your characterization as my country as a sad, disgusting, what's the rest of it, suicidal nation. I feel none of those things. I feel very happy to be in the United Kingdom, and I feel that there are lots of very happy
No, because you're saying you're different, you're going to remain different, and you don't think that if that's not compatible with being an American, then the hell with it. That's what you're going to do.
Well, then what do you make then of, white American people who convert, let's say, to Islam and choose to cover? Are they not American anymore?
Listen, if they want to do that, that's obviously their business. I don't know how many are out there that do that. I think again, it's ill-advised. I think you have to hold the society together. There has to be an agreement on certain things, customs, culture, way of life. And unfortunately, if you're going to practice rigidly a brand of Islam that demands certain things, and this is why I asked right off the bat, do you support Sharia law?
I'm a Muslim. What being a Muslim means is I follow the guidelines of my religion, which is a peaceful
Does your religion dictate to you Sharia law?
My religion dictates to me to be a good human being, to be good to my neighbors, to
Hi, Assalamu alaikum, sisters and brothers. Sulman Rahim here, Veteran of Covenant. Okay, brothers and sisters, it's been a year now, and we're finally home after 40 years in Arabia. I'm reporting to you from Arabia. Finally home after 40 years, right? And so we've been here a year now, and there was an agreement made. Our former slave master, he said, we had a choice: stay here or leave. Right? So we chose our inheritance, Arabia. So we left. And half the original people decided they wanted to give up their inheritance and trade it for a place in America in reconciliation with their former slave master. That's their choice. They chose, said, we don't want to go over to Arabia. We don't go to where it's sand and all that stuff. We want to stay here in America. We've been here all our lives, been here 40 years, born here, right? And we can make peace with our slave master. Okay, so they decided to stay. And so after a year, right, we get reports of how things are going over there. And it doesn't sound too good. How things are going over in America with their reparations. Because they was given, they got 6 states, I believe. Yeah, see? Yeah. Yeah, they got those 6 states right there. That's what Farrakhan told them. You know, they was listening to Farrakhan. Farrakhan promised them, you know, they stay there, 6 states, right? Had their own land. And they can make reconciliation with former slave masters. They're not devils. They're not devils. They're human beings. They just had a rough, you know, they were just, you know, did some things wrong, but now they, you know, they're gonna make amends and make reparations. So 6 states, and in addition to that, they gave everybody $1 million. Everybody stayed $1 million. Okay? Say, thank you, Farrakhan. They're so happy. Thank you, Farrakhan. Thank you, Farrakhan. Man, you got 6 states. That's what you promised us. We got 6 states. They're thanking you. Thank you, Farrakhan. Right? And you know, I mean, this was a year ago. They got the 6 states. Thank you, Farrakhan. Right? Everybody got $1 million. Everybody $1 million. And they're rejoicing. Oh man, they're so happy. Hey, we made it. We made it. We got America, man. We got reconciliation for a master. We got 6 states. Everybody got $1 million. We're all rich. That was a year ago when we left. Okay, so we're in Arabia. They're still back there in America. And now we're getting reports a year later. This was the way it was a year ago, man. They were so happy. They were so happy. Right? And now we get reports of what's going on right now. Let's see. Oops, it says a power failure. Great power failure in those 6 states. Power failure. And
and going westward or going out there in the land, ain't no cities, no towns, no infrastructure out there. Surely you ain't talking about that, are you? No. We ain't going back to Africa. No. This is your land. Our sweat, our tears, our blood has earned us the right to the land. What God wants you to do is come out of their ways. Come out of their pagan holidays where you should be honoring Jesus. You are out here buying bunny rabbits and inviting your children to paint eggs for some Easter hunt. Come out of her. Get the Santa Claus out of your house and a tree that is the way of the pagans. Come out of her. St. Valentine's Day. The heck is that? Excuse me. Come out of her name. Come out of her religion. Come out of her culture. Come out of her way of life. Come out of her educational system.
Back to their people. When they was put off on the shores of North America. And this ship, Jesus, that John Hawkins brought our best hero. They stood and stared at it disappearing in the horizon, crying, wanting to return. With their hands stretched out towards that ship and tied in chains themselves bound together. And when they was put off on this memorable shows, they stood there staring at that ship that brought them to a strange land and a strange people who could not speak either one's language. Now they have to live in a strange country and a strange people who had proven to them every mile from their native land that they were going to be the worst enemies that they ever lived with. They were going to be the people that would destroy them. They soon discovered that on this ship that they were being brought here on. I don't know how we should say anything in the name of Jesus of good for us when this ship was named Jesus. This is how that we have always been deceived by the white man, trying to use Jesus, the name Jesus, to lull us off in a mental sleep, thinking that we are on our way to heaven. This is terrible. My beloved brothers and sisters, this is very hard for us to even to accept today. Imagine our parents standing crying to return to their native land and people, and you here today crying to stay with the very enemy that brought our fathers in subjection to their will. You and I turning your face from your own native land and turning it back towards our own prison house and our own enemies who have destroyed us and seeks to further destroy us. How do you feel? How do you feel? Not wanting to return to your people. They are trying to make love with the very people that destroyed you and your parents. How do you feel? Acting such. And even today, they are beating and shooting you down throughout the country. There is no justice here for you and me. Why should not you want to be separated and be returned to your I ask you that question. Think over your parents on the eastern shore of North America, crying and praying to God to be returned to their arms 400 years ago. How would they like, or you like to see them rise up in the judgment condemning you for being such fools as now want to live in the land that absolutely enslaved them and killed them and beat them for 300 long years here. They would condemn you as being fools for not wanting to be separated and go to your own, build up a nation for yourself after the white man say you are free. Remember that.
make it. Surely you ain't talking about us packing our bags and going westward or going out there in the land. Ain't no cities, no towns, no infrastructure out there. Surely you ain't talking about that, are you? No. We ain't going back to Africa. No. This is your land. Our sweat, our tears, our blood has earned us the right to the land. What God wants you to do is come out of their ways. Come out of their pagan holidays where you should be honoring Jesus. You are out here buying bunny rabbits and inviting your children to paint eggs for some Easter hunt. Come out of her. Get the Santa Claus out of your house and a tree that is the way of the pagans. Come out of her. St. Valentine's Day. What the heck is that? Excuse me. Come out of her name. Come out of her religion. Come out of her culture. Come out of her way of life. Come out of her educational system.
Back to their people. When they was put off on the shores of North America. And this ship, Jesus, that John Hawkins brought our past hero. They stood and stared at it disappearing in the horizon, crying, wanting to return. With their hands stretched out towards that ship and tied in chains themselves bound together. And when they was put off on this memorable shows, they stood there staring at that ship that brought them to a strange land and a strange people who could not speak either one's language. Now they have to live in a strange country and a strange people who had proven to them every mile from their native land that they were going to be the worst enemies that they ever lived with. They were going to be the people that would destroy them. They soon discovered that on this ship that they were being brought here on. I don't know how we should say anything in the name of Jesus of good for us when this ship was named Jesus. This is how that we have always been deceived by the white man, trying to use Jesus, the name Jesus, to lull us off in a mental sleep, thinking that we are on our way to heaven. This is terrible. My beloved brothers and sisters, this is very hard for us to even to accept today. Imagine our parents standing crying to return to their native land and people, and you here today crying to stay with the very enemy that brought our fathers in subjection to their will, you are now turning your face from your own native land and turning it back towards our own prison house and our own enemies who have destroyed us and seeks to further destroy us. How do you feel? How do you feel? Not wanting to return to your people. They are trying to make love with the very people that destroyed you and your parents. How do you feel acting such? And even today, they are beating and shooting you down throughout the country. There is no justice here for you and me. Why is it that you want to be separated and be returned to your own? I ask you that question. Think over your parents on the eastern shore of North America, crying and praying to God to be returned to their own 400 years ago. How would they like, or you like to see them rise up in the judgment condemning you for being such fools as now want to live in the land that absolutely enslaved them and killed them and beat them for 300 long years here. They would condemn you as being fools for not wanting to be separated and go to your own, build up a nation for yourself after the white man say you were free. Remember that.
Assalamu alaikum, sisters and brothers. Sulman Rahim here, Messenger of the Covenant. Okay, brothers and sisters, it's been a year now, and we're finally home after 40 years in Arabia. I'm reporting to you from Arabia. Finally home after 40 years, right? And so we've been here a year now. When there was an agreement made, a former slave master, he said, we had a choice, stay here or leave, right? So we chose our inheritance, Arabia. So we left. And half the original people decided they wanted to give up their inheritance and trade it for a place in America in reconciliation with their former slave master. That's their choice. They chose, said, we don't want to go over to Arabia. We don't go to where it's sand and all that stuff. We want to stay here in America. We've been here all our lives, been here 40 years, born here, right? And you know, we can make peace with our slave master. Okay, so they decided to stay. And so after a year, right, we're getting reports of how things are going over there. And it doesn't sound too good. How things are going over in America with their reparations. Because they was given, they got 6 states, I believe. Yeah, see? Yeah. Yeah, they got those 6 states right there. That's what Farrakhan told them. You know, they was listening to Farrakhan. Farrakhan promised them, you know, they stay there, 6 states, right? Had their own land. And they can make reconciliation with the former slave master. They're not devils. They're not devils. They're human beings. They just had a rough, you know, they were just, you know, did some things wrong, but now they, you know, they're gonna make amends and make reparations. So 6 states, and in addition to that, they gave everybody $1 million. Everybody stayed $1 million. Right? Say, thank you, Farrakhan. They're so happy. Thank you, Farrakhan. Thank you, Farrakhan. Man, you got 6 states. That's what you promised us. We got 6 states. They're thanking you. Thank you, Farrakhan. Right? And you know, I mean, this was a year ago. They got the 6 states. Thank you, Farrakhan. Right? Everybody got $1 million. Everybody $1 million. And they're rejoicing. Oh man, they're so happy. Hey, we came here. We made it. We got America, man. We got reconciliation for a master. We got 6 states. Everybody got $1 million. We're all rich. That was a year ago when we left. So we're in Arabia. They're still back there in America. And now we're getting reports a year later. This was the way it was a year ago, man. They were so happy. They were so happy. Right? And now we get reports of what's going on right now. Let's see. Oops, it says a power failure. Great power failure in those 6 states. Power failure. And it's just those 6 states. Right? So, and now they have big and massive, they came asking to turn the power. Well, why can't they do it? Oh, Farrakhan didn't train anybody. He was telling you about 6 states, but he never prepared you for them. So nobody knows how to do it. How to turn the power grid back on. So now he's begging, man, master, can you come and turn this thing back on for us? I mean, you would think that if he told them 6 days to promise them that he would have prepared them for it, right? Have schools and education, whatever they need for that. But now, I guess they didn't, because they said over there now they begging their former master to come and turn the power back on. And then what? I mean, this is all that's happening now. I mean, I'm getting these imports in now. A year later, it's like they're coming in every hour. Power grid failure, right? Then say, oops, crop failure. All of a sudden, there's no. They say, they looked at the farmers when they done the farmers said, oh. So then they had master, what's happening here? How come you know? Right? Our crop. They found that the land they gave them wasn't that fertile. A year later, nothing's growing. Crop failure. And now they master, what's happening here? Right? And then, I mean, all these things, every hour that's coming in, right? And then they look, and they had, a year ago, they had plenty of food on the shelves, right? And now, they look there now, and all the food's gone. It's gone. She said, what am I going to do here? Food's gone. The house is empty. So he said, Master, we need some food. Well, how come you can't produce your own food? I mean, you want your own country. You got your own states. That's your country. Then you run it. What are you calling us for? Right? And so they'll be praying. And then, oops, no fuel. There's master, no fuel there. Well, you got to buy your fuel. You got to produce your own fuel. What you calling us for? You got your own 6 states now. What you calling us for? Go and get some fuel. You got money, right? You got your own states. So you got to get your own. What you calling us for? You said you wanted your own, so now you got it. And you got your reparation, so we don't owe you anything anymore. We don't owe you anything anymore, so what you calling us for? We don't owe you anything. You said you agreed to 6 states and $1 million per person. You took that instead of your inheritance, what you call the Abrahamic covenant, Arabia. Your brothers and sisters, they left, they took that was offered to them, they took it. And you said, no, I want this instead. So now you got it. So what you calling us for? Oh, no communications. Oh, man. No communications, right? No medical facilities. So what's going on, Master? Wait a minute, hold on. That's you. What you calling us for? That's yours. You got to handle that stuff. You want us to handle it for you? You want independence, now you have it. I mean, wow, this stuff was coming every hour, man. Instead of like a year, they was celebrating. And now they crying and begging the master, okay, we got all these problems here. I said, wait a minute, that's yours. Where you come about your problems? You have to work those out. Right? No transportation, I mean, no planes, no nowhere. We don't know about fly the planes and to drive the trucks and the boats and stuff and to go and get this stuff. Well, what you done this for? You wanted this, you got it. So go ahead and train your own pilots, build your own planes, build your own boats and right? You see what I'm saying? Transportation, build your own trucks. What you calling for? Yeah, Master, we see this. You said you wanted 6 states, you got it. You want $1 million per person. That was the reparations. So then if you didn't pay people to take care of this, how is that our problem? You're independent now. You're really free now. Oops, no fuel, the gas station's empty. I can't drive, eh? And no gas. Man, wow. All this stuff happened in like for a year, they thought that everything was great, and all of a sudden everything ran out. So I guess what happened? Everything was there when they got it, and then it ran out. They had to, for them to replace the fuel, to get the farms going. So they was left with that stuff. The factory was full. Warehouses full. Then you had to keep. They thought that was just going. I guess they thought it was just going to be there, just by itself. They didn't prepare for it. See, and they ain't trained any engineers and scientists and architects and stuff. They business. They didn't train anybody. So Farrakhan, he told you he's going to get this for you, but he didn't prepare you for it. He didn't get anybody to handle this stuff. So what was that all about? So now he asked the master, hey, don't call on me. You was here, you had it when you was here with me. You said you want independence, you wanted reparations, so you gave it to you. Well, calling your brothers over there. They left, they handled their own business. You said you want to stay here. Right? Okay. You don't have any professionals or technicians, scientists, doctors, none of that. See? That's what, because if you're going to set reparation, you should be preparing for that, right? So if he was telling you about reparation, you should be preparing for it. If he said God said that's where he's going to get you, so if God told him he's going to get that for you, then he should, like when God told Noah there was a flood coming, to only build an ark, so he started building an ark. And so you should start preparing for the 6 states and the reparations, but apparently you didn't. And so now, it does say, look, hold it. We want total separation. Look, we don't want you to call us no more. We don't want you to call us no more. Because you're wearing us. You want your own country. You got your own land. Right? You got money, $1 million, all this stuff, right? And so now we got to protect your money and everything too? No, you have to create your own money. You have to do all these things, your own wealth, not ours. Right? So we're going to cut you off from that too. That's all economics. So they go and tell it. They tell all the people all the white folks, right? Because all the black folks, now all the black folks is either in Arabia or in those 6 states. That's the solution. You had to be one way or the other. There couldn't be no integration, that kind of stuff. That's the deal. You just said one or the other. So all the black folks are there, ain't no integration, that kind of stuff, right? Black folks are there, one or the other, so they're there. So he said, okay, right? So they just say, we're going to take our money because we don't know what y'all doing over there. You have your own money, you have your own wealth. So what they do is they tell all the white folks, say, protect your money, right? Transfer your money into gold. Transfer all your dollars into gold. Right? Now remember, they gave everybody $1 million apiece. So everybody got $1 million worth of piece, right? And so they transfer it to gold. And then what happens is that what they do is they start just printing money. White folks just start printing money. You understand what that means? That's inflation, right? Because if you got $1 million of gold, a million ounces of gold, say a million ounces of gold, understand this, and you got 1 million certificates, then you say each certificate is worth 1 ounce. If you got 1 million ounce, each certificate is worth 1 ounce. Understand that? If you got 1 million ounces of gold, and you got 1 million certificates, each one of those certificates is worth 1 million. If you're going to say trade with the certificates, each one of the certificates is worth 1 ounce of gold, right? But if you take and print, you say you got 1 million ounces of gold, and you got 1 million certificates, each one. But say you print twice as many certificates, you got 2 million. Well, then each certificate is only worth 50 cents now, because you got to connect that to the gold. Well, you print 4 times, then each one is worth a quarter. So the more you print, the less they worth, because those certificates has to equal what the gold is. You understand? So the more you print money, the less, right? The less they're worth. So if you print twice as much money, right, there's less gold. You understand? So $1 is worth an ounce of gold, which that's right. Then if you print double that amount of dollars, then each one's worth half an ounce. You understand? That's what printing money without increasing the wealth does. That's inflation. So what happens is they keep printing. They get down to where $100 is worth a penny. But see, that doesn't affect their people. They told to protect their money because they transfer their money to gold. So gold still has its value. It's just the dollars don't. It still got the same amount of gold. But the dollars, they get down to a penny. So you can't buy it. You had $1 million, now your $1 million worth of $5. That's what all this worth. $1 million. Hardly worth anything. Hey, that's our money. You gotta have your own money, you control your own wealth. You can't keep coming at us what you're doing. And you think they wouldn't do that? Yeah, you've been a Gaza lately? You see what happened to the trees they made with the so-called natives? Kept telling me you had a forked tongue because they kept making trees with them, then they broke the trees. And took their land and genocide and everything else. But no, they wouldn't do that to you. See? Because now you have, your money's worth nothing. They haven't lost anything. Because once that money's worthless, it's no good, right? Then you bury it up, throw it away, it's worth nothing. The people still got gold. And even if they take it, hold on to money, hope to increase again, they just use another different certificate, use another form of money. So it's still worth nothing. That $1 million you had, you was so happy with now, it's probably worth maybe $1. So you can't buy anything with $1. Plus the economy's collapse because everything is failing, and you don't know how to repair it. You don't know how to build communications. You don't know how to do any of this stuff. You don't know how to engineer, build a house. You don't know how to do anything because Farrakhan didn't. Right? He didn't prepare you. He told you he'll give you 6 days. He told you, listen to me, right? So now you're broke, and your economy is gone. You have no food, no electricity, no power, anything, right? It's not their fault. They gave you what you asked for. You still had your inheritance for that. And then they closed the border. Because you're going to try to get back into America now. We want to come back in, Master. No, we don't want you back in here. We sorry, we want to come in. No. That's you chose. You stay there. They closed the border, so you can't get back in here. You can't get back in America, into what you call your land now? Swaziland or something? Farrakhan. Maybe call it travel land. Farrakhan. They met the Farrakhan, right? So they close the borders, you can't. Because now you're hungry and everything else, your money's worthless. Oh God, come back, Master, I'll come back work for you, I'll work for Popeyes, I'll do anything you want. No, remember, the blacks, either they over in Arabia or they in that land. There are no blacks in America, any places, just in that land, that you 6 states. And now you're starving, you ain't got your money's worthless, nothing works, and they close the border. Right? And then you see Master, you on the phone, you talking to the guy that you kept treating, help you. Hey, we finally got rid of niggas. Finally got rid of them. See on the phone. Yeah, it worked. We sold them no reparations. We sold them that used car. You turned the miles back and everything else, and they bought it. See? They could have had a BMW. They could have had a Lamborghini. They sold that for a BMW that looked good. Damn thing didn't work. And now they're starving, living in tents. Praying. So what? Then what next? What we gonna do, Farrakhan? You told us to take reparations, so we did. But they gave us everything that we asked for. What are we going to do, Farrakhan? What are we going to do? Pray, 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 pray. That's his answer. Pray, pray, pray. That's your reparations. Like Elijah Muhammad said, he had a big picture. We leaving, and blacks staying on the shore, the ones stay behind, and they was whooping their ass. Right? Because they thought you think they want to give you some land and take care of you? You think they want to do that? And go bankrupt, give everybody $1 million? How much that is? If it's 17 million, that's 17 million times 17 million times a million is like $17 trillion, I think, something like that there. Then they're gonna do all that for you. They want to get rid of you. So now they have succeeded. Because they closed the border. What you gonna do? You gonna fight to come out? They closed the border. They got the military around there. They finally got rid of you. No more black problem, no more Negro problem anymore. One group's out of here, another group that's here. They're gone, and our hands are clean. We gave them what they wanted. Well, anything. Okay. God honors contracts. Remember, he honored the contract with Jacob. Esau sold his birthright for a bowl of soup to Jacob, which was Esau's inheritance, and God honored it. Okay, Jacob, it's yours. You're the one. And that's the deal. Because he ain't your friend. Farrakhan ain't your friend. Pray, pray, pray. That's the answer. And this homeland you was promised, you rejected it. So now you got what you asked for. So if they gave you reparations today or tomorrow, how would that scenario not play out like that? Well, they say, okay, you got it. Tell me how the scenario wouldn't play out like that. And tell me why they wouldn't do it. They love you so much, they're going to say, okay, we're going to take care of them. I mean, why should they go out their way to take care of you when you was right here? You was working at Popeyes and living in the get up on Section 8, all that stuff right here, because they're trying to get rid of that stuff right now. Trump's trying to get rid of all that stuff right now. Because they're closing on you don't realize it. Anyway, that's just, that's what's happening over in America. Wow. Boys, come here. Disaster over there. And, I just got a call. Oh, wait, hold on. Really? You serious? Our ambassador just got a call from I don't know what they call it. We call it Conland or something. I forgot what it is. Some name to call it right there. That 6 day. They begged us to come and help. Can they come over here? Can we come and get them? Really? Can we come and get them and bring them? Oh no. Now he went and asked Master Farad Muhammad, right? He said, no, hell no. We ain't going to get them. And I agree with that. Yeah, the Master said he said, let's call him, and he passed the word to Master Farad Muhammad. Master Muhammad said, send him back. Master, no, we can't come and get you. You made your choice, live with it. Or die, whatever the situation is. Wow. I can't believe that. They actually, right, sent a message over. I don't know how they did. I don't have any communication with it. Somehow they got the information over to them. Said, we please come and get them. Nope. Said, no, tell them no. And don't waste time communicating with us anymore. You got your land. You got your reparations. You got your money. You got Farrakhan as your leader. Yeah, tell him. Talk to him. Let him straighten out for you. He didn't want to sell you the idea. He was a salesman. So you on that idea of reparations. We told you. Right? Suleiman, right? He was the messenger to you, telling you, look, man, let's go home. You said no. You chose not to. Okay, bro, since that's a sad story. But I guess that's it. Is that it? Oh, they're not getting more reports on. Okay, he says that was Matthew Prophet Muhammad's final decision, and I think they closed communications off from there. So, like I said, brothers and sisters, we got those rides that came in. All that came in today, man, came in fast. After a whole year. Total collapse. Now they're begging it. Somebody help them. We can't do it. Maybe Master help you. We won't do it. Assalamu alaikum. Update, brothers and sisters, got another late report in that they said, well, if you want to come and get us, well, we at least send them some food. They begged, said, please send us some food. Master Muhammad said, no, we got to send them a damn thing, nothing, zero. He said, please just send us some food. No, I just got that in. He says, if you can't come and get us, please send us some food. He says, no, he refused. That's the report. I just got the information from the ambassador. He said, they sent that, and he's read to me. He says, no. He said, please, just please send us some food. He said, no way. You made your choice, case closed. Okay, just got that in, brothers and sisters. Assalamu alaikum.